doing? I'm on my way back from Connecticut. I was in Stamford, Connecticut at I forgot what the studio name is. Why can't I think of the studio name? But the studio is the studio that hosts Steve Wilkos, Karamo, Maury before he retired was there, and Jerry Springer used to be in this studio in Stamford. The shows today, there was 4 of them. Usually when I go, there's about 6 when I stay for the whole day, which is not often. But the reason I stayed for the whole day this time was because I knew that after this week, I can't go to any daytime shows unless I take a day off of work. It's just not an option anymore. So I'm like, while I'm home, I'm gonna enjoy the last few days. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to the Survivor premiere party. I'm looking forward to that. I do wish I had got like a mock or something, because they do sell those mocks at the events, but they're like $30-$40, and I'm like, that's a waste. There's people who make those things on Etsy. I don't care what people say. I'm not trying to give CBS my money. I don't care. I'm not paying overpriced things at CBS. I pay for Survivor events for the sake of getting content from my channel, but also I really do support Wendell and Bryce because I like them. They, at least the times that I've interacted with them, which is plenty now, they're really good guys. So I honestly don't mind the money going in their pocket, just like I don't mind the money going into Aza's pockets when she has her events. I'm iffy about the challenge events, I'm not gonna lie to you. I do that more because of my love of the challenge and because I want to get my content. But the Survivor and Big Brother events, I don't do that to support CBS, even though I am in some ways supporting CBS by pushing their content. But the reason I'm saying that is because CBS doesn't support me. So I support when supported. You give me a little and I'm going to give you a lot. Like every time I see Aza, I shout her out, I take a picture with her, I take a video with her. I'm like, Aza's the best host, because I really do like the events that she hosts more than any other events, truthfully. I'm not just saying that because it's Aza, because I also like Derek Kaczynski. I also like Wendell in particular. Who else? I guess those are really the only ones that I have attended in terms of show events. I went to that one Big D event, which I loved, but yeah. Okay, hi Tricity and hi Vicky. So I went to, I'm leaving the Steve Wilkos show. The shows were intense. Like, I have gone to the show about 4 times maybe now. I think people think I've been to the Steve Wilkos show many times. I'll tell you the reason why. The secret behind the TV magic as to why people think that I've been on the show like 20 plus times. Because you'll go to the studio and they'll have about 6 different stories. So if you stay for all 6 different stories, they do mix and match. So it's not like, so on a regular episode, I think the episodes are like 30 minutes maybe. And I think they might show 1 or maybe 2 of the stories per episode. So if I go on 3 shows, I'm on 18 different stories. And they don't show them in any kind of order. Excuse me, and they don't show them right away. So I could go to a show right now today and pop up on your TV in July. That's what happened to me 2023 when I went to like a few Steve Harvey, a few Steve Wilkos shows, and they didn't air. I went there like October maybe, and then they aired like February, March, April of the next year, and the people were messaging me, like people who watch those things every day were like, "You go to the Steve Wilkos show every day." I was on the Steve Wilkos show, so you're seeing it. Intense. They had a, they had like a pedophile on there that the daughter got sexually assaulted by him, and the two daughters were kidnapped by him when they were kids. The mother, when he first got with their mother, he was 36 and they were 15. I mean, the mother was 15 and the man was 36. Like, intense. Like, I say that it's the best stage show in the world, and I still think that there is stage elements. Like, they're mic'd up, they know they're on a stage, but some of the stories that people come on there with are really serious. That was one of them. The man is serving 20 years right now, so he couldn't be on the show. And the two daughters are messed up, and the mom was on the family went through it, so I felt for them. There was a couple of other stories like that. Oh, there was a story of a woman who punched her baby in the face 6 times. And probably that wasn't the only case of her abusing the baby. And she spent 6 months in jail, and she denied it. And then Steve was asking her all these questions, and Steve was like, I served as a police officer for X amount of years, so I can tell when somebody's lying. Clearly you're lying, just admit it. And so she got with this other guy. The original baby father left her and has full custody of the kid. And then the next man that she got with and had a child with is a sex offender. So they took that kid away right away. And for some reason, so she failed the test that said that she didn't abuse the kid, that she didn't abuse her first baby. And for some reason, her and the sex offender man that she's with now believe that they deserve to have their, I think it's a son. They believe that they deserve to have their son back. The guy's sister took on the son because she didn't want the baby to end up in foster care, and she assists them having supervised visits. And for some reason, they're mad at her because I think she's the one who, or she was involved with reporting them for not being fit parents for that kid. So it's like there was like maybe one that was kind of, excuse me, there was one that was kind of a little bit funny, but a few of them were like, oh my God, like people were cringing and crying and in the set. I mean, so it was one of those days, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I like Steve Wilkos. Steve Wilkos is like, I don't know if he has if he got some kind of counseling background, or if he just developed the skill that he has from just years of doing it. But it's like, he has this really nice combination. He can be firm, like when he's talking to someone, he has a straight talk way about him, but he also has a sensitivity to him, and he seems to just really understand a lot of different issues. And then when he talks to people, he throws his life background in there. I mean, not that he relates to all the people that come on the show, but when he does have things that he can relate with them, he uses his own personal life as an example. And oh, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Navigate. He's tough, but he's fair. Is what I'm kind of trying to say. He's like kind of stern, but he doesn't like berate a person when he sees that they've gone through a certain life issue. Like, he doesn't just go in on everybody who lies. Like, if the man who molested the daughter came on the show, you know that he give him the business. But the girl who's like traumatized, one of the two girls that was traumatized and didn't believe her sister about what happened to her, he's not going in on her because he knows that they both experienced major trauma, and it could be something that she's just been denying and kind of suppressing because she doesn't want to admit it. It's just like a parent, really. Like, sometimes a parent will just go in on you. Sometimes a parent will be like, you have enough to deal with right now, so I am not going to beat a dead horse. I feel like Steve is good with that. I also asked Steve a question, which I'm going to post. I always go, whenever I go to these things, I'm not there. If they say there's a Q&A period, I always have a queue on deck. Like, I didn't have a question prepared beforehand, but I was like, I'm sure going to think of one because he's answering a lot of questions today. I have gotten him to answer questions only twice, but that's because, I don't know, maybe it takes me a little while to get comfortable, and I had a tendency to listen to the questions that other people were asking and to feel like mine are not worthwhile, but that's not the case. I think that whenever I bring things to the table to these people, they actually like my questions because they're not like, Steve, what were you thinking when you threw a chair at this person on episode whatever, or like, Steve, what do you feel like when you get a sexual predator on the stage? Like, those are questions that everybody asks. Everybody asks the same kind of set of questions, and you see that when they get different questions, they're like, oh, nobody asked me that, or nobody has asked me that in some time. Oh. I actually kind of wanted to ask him. I had another question in my head, and I changed my mind at the last minute. But I really wanted to say, what does it take? What would it take for me to get a show like you? Because, honestly, I would love to have his type of show. Because, I mean, not exactly to that extreme. Like, Steve has a show that is very intense, but maybe like a lesser version of that, where I do have people where I help mediate their problems, because that's what I do in my job. I don't do it on a grand scale for a television show, but I do it in real life. Like, I mediate issues all the time. I've done it at work for years, and I've done it in my personal life for years also. So, and I've asked about this on my channel. It's harder to get people to do things on your channel, but I did ask if people had those types of things. I would love to bring 2 people or more on my channel, and then they talk about the problem that they have, and then from there I give them my opinion or a solution, and then maybe give the chat a chance to chime in, see what they have to say. You never need to have it. She said that she thinks that she's fit to have a kid. He was being nice, because he was like, he didn't say you're not fit to have a kid, but he said, based on the things that you've said and the things that I've heard, he was like, I don't see a kid in your near future. What is going on here? What is going on here? Pardon the interruption. That used to be the name of a show. Pardon the interruption. I am doing Instacart on my way back. Funny enough, Instacart is like paying for my my gas and my tolls. I was talking to Ed yesterday night, and Ed knows how it is living on a prayer, which I've been doing for the last 6 freaking weeks. He's got compassion when he needs it, but he's also badass when he needs to be. Exactly. He has the right combination of skills, and he knows when to implement those. How many times I had dropped this phone? Buffalo Wild Wings, baby. I love Buffalo Wild Wings, but more relevant questions than who? Steve? Steve, the thing is, Steve gets given his questions by his producer, which is his wife. So, he does improvise, but he pretty much gets spoon-fed his questions. All right. What are we looking for here? One moment. Me. Explain by more relevant questions. Not that I'll always take the compliment, but explain what you mean by more relevant questions, because I always ask when people give me compliments about things. All the answers, as long as it's not him who... What are you talking about, Roy Munson? Bye. With all the answers, I don't even know why I'm responding to this. This person obviously just popped on the channel to say whatever. You can tell when somebody has actually been listening to what you're saying versus they just popped on here just because they wanted to be relevant. All right, what does this next one say? Were you in the Huxtables? Were you in the Huxtables? Mother effer. All right. No changes to review. Got it. Already did that. I'm multitasking, y'all. I'm sorry. Multitasking. But I'm still here. Because I have a work phone, fortunately, my own personal work phone, um, I realized that I can do Instacart. Matter of fact, uh, oh, you mean better questions to ask the TV people that I meet? Oh, I know that much. That part is not a question for me. I know that I ask. I did not used to own that. But then I started to say, there's a reason why I will all be at the same event, and the people will know me no more than they know them. But it's the fact that when I go to ask somebody a question, I'm like, I could be like, oh, Fessy, how was that hall brawl with Nelson? How did it feel when you were crushing him when you were running through the hall? What am I gonna gain from that? I'm not saying that I never ask like fan type of questions like that. I do sometimes. But if you see my body of work, I'll sprinkle in those questions here and there. But I really want to know about life things that I can use and relate to, and possibly like nuggets that I can take with me in life. Because I don't believe in wasting conversations. But that's an evolution for me because when I first started going to events, I did ask all those typical fan questions, but then I would leave the conversation and I would be saying to myself, that's not really what I wanted to ask. It's just that I didn't know if they would think that it was a stupid question for me to ask something about what the turning point was for them between going to college and then choosing to be on a TV show, or like what have they done at low points in their TV show career when they're in their villain state, or like what does their mental health feel like at that time, or what is it like having gone through public relationships where they break up and the fans are very invested in that relationship. So now they have to do like a public, yeah, we're broken up, when, really it's kind of your private space and you shouldn't have to do that, but you also have no choice because the speculation will get out of control. Unless. And how about Stamford, Connecticut giving me a ticket on a meter that I paid for? Like, I get so annoyed having to fight citations that I know for a fact that I'm not wrong, but it's just like they're making me go through the process, and they probably hope that they catch some people that are just forget about the process, because this ticket says within the first, I can't see it now. Oh yeah, after due right now $25, due after 3/12/50, and due after 3/27/75. I just had to go to court actually in New York for like 6 tickets that I got in the same parking meter, in the same parking lot. 6 tickets, and I had paid the meter for all 6 of those, and I actually brought it all to court. I brought all the receipts to court. Oh yeah, we're gonna waive this. why did I get 6 of them in the first place? And then I had a threat in the letter that my license could get revoked. I'm like, so I could have had all 6 of these tickets paid, but if I didn't respond to these letters, I could wake up one day and I have an invalid license based on somebody effing with me. You're mentioning that you felt like you didn't speak up right away because of that, and she was just saying you're a better question asker. Is that proper grammar? Oh, okay. I thought that you were saying that I could ask better questions than a show host. And to tell you the truth, I was answering that, even though that was not what she was trying to say. That to me is a fact, because literally while Steve was on the show, oh, shit, his wife passes him cue cards, and I'm not saying he goes like 100% exclusively off the cue cards, but she also makes sure that he doesn't go too far. Bro is dark chocolate. You get maybe one more comment, to tell you the truth. You get one more comment. Like I said, I know where these usually go with comment number 2, but comment number 1 was iffy enough that I'm leaving you up there. And that's only because I'm not here, that's only because I have mods here. If I was here without any mods, I'm a quick trigger. With the blocks. Yeah, so I had a good time at the show. Tomorrow is going to be, like I said, the Survivor premiere. I'm going to do what Andy showed me. I believe his name is Adam. Why do I keep calling him Andy? I'm going to do what Adam showed me, which is to take my phone and to put on my Paramount Plus when I get in the building, and then to put the captions on and to put my headphones on. So that means that I don't have to miss what they're saying. Because he was like, pro tips. Because I said to myself, that's so smart. Because every time I go to these watch parties, I always tell y'all I can't hear anything. But I'm definitely going to use the app. And then I'm going to... What are you in such a rush for? Okay. I'm going to use the Paramount Plus app, and I'm going to put in my headphones, and I'm going to put on the captions on Paramount Plus. So I'm not going to have to rewatch the episode when I get home, because I hate having to do that. It's so annoying to me. All I want to see... I wish sunset was a little bit later. It's like 5:09. The sun was beautiful an hour ago. Now it's setting. The sun is now setting. All I wanna see is the sky full of lighters. I would throw on some music because that's what I usually do in the car, but y'all know. Instant. You know what? Let me see something. Let me see if I can find some royalty-free karaoke. Royalty-free. And no. In the jungle. Because I always throw my music on in the car. In the jungle. karaoke version. Instrumental as made by the Tokens. Yeah, no, I think all of these would get me banned. I mean, not banned, but they would demonetize these videos. From Zoom karaoke. Okay, what is Zoom karaoke? You thank me for that. Ow! Oh, a wimboa, 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 a wimboa. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. The quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. I'm on my way. This is not in my key. Wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa. The village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. It's still on. Maybe I found one I could use. Do 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 do. A wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa. A wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa, a wimboa. Do 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 do. I might find out on the back end that they demonetize this, but it's okay. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling. The lion sleeps tonight. What else do they got here? This does not have any songs that I really sing. This does not have any of my go-to songs. Away. Bruce Springsteen, David Bowie, 70 Mendy, Ben Campbell, Post Malone, Alan Jackson. No. I want to get all of these songs in the James medley. Lost you without backing. Yeah. What are your go-to songs? New York, New York. In the Jungle, in the correct key that I can sing it in. Teddy Bear, Elvis Presley. Three Little Birds. Don't Worry, Be Happy. I Feel Good, James Brown.